Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Tone Talk with Mark Uzansky and Dave Friedman, episode 78, and we are excited. We've got Jordan Ziff from Ratt and Marty Friedman. How are you doing, man? What's going on, Jordan?
Great. I'm doing great.
Glad to have you on.
He's got his martini.
Cheers.
My second martini. They will start martinis at 5 o'clock.
Oh boy, martini night.
5 o'clock martinis and cheese and crackers is like my daily thing with some friends.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. And Dave, you're drinking what again? I know you told us off air, but
Lefroy Scotch.
Cool. And I got the Sam Adams. I hope everybody's doing good tonight. Jordan, did you make your bed? Looks like you did.
It looks okay. It looks pretty.
It's one of the Buster Balls. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So what's been going on with you, man, during this insane time?
You know what?
LA. You're in LA now, right?
I just came to LA like a week ago. Just been writing music, writing stuff for Ratt, working on solo record stuff, and just hanging out with some friends and jamming with different people, just kind of trying to enjoy the not working, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
Because
it's kind of like when you jam with other people, it's just like a solo kind of thing, you and another dude or another friend.
Yeah, or just like a drummer friend of mine, and we jam some guitar and just having some fun. What else can you really do right now? Because I'm not touring right now, I'm not playing any shows right now, and I really wouldn't want to anyways, because I see some people doing that, and it's kind of I don't know. I think it just looks bad to try and forcefully play shows right now during this pandemic. It's just doesn't look good. It's not a good look,
It's not a good look, but I know a couple people personally that had to play the shows because the promoter were threatening to sue them if they didn't.
Oh, well, that's a different story.
So, so yeah, I mean, and believe me, it's a person that didn't want to play these shows, but he had to.
Yeah.
So he did it in a way that he could be as distant as possible,
but that's not always
in Sturgis. He had to.
Right. Oh yeah, Sturgis. Yeah.
Sturgis?
Yeah.
The worst possible.
It wasn't Lynch, right?
Huh?
Was it Lynch, George?
Yeah.
Really? He played in Sturgis?
Yeah. He had to. Didn't have a choice. He got in a position he didn't have a choice.
Yeah, because someone commented that Don Dawkins been doing it, which I saw that performance. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, it's probably not the best. If someone's choosing to do this and put on a show, it's probably not the best choice because, I mean, if it's your thing, you're endangering people probably.
Yeah.
Now people seem to want to go anyway.
I know, but it's just a bad look all around.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's not safe. So yeah, and you know what? People, when it's ready and times are ready, and everybody's safe, people are going to be raring to go to concerts and go to shows, and it's gonna be fucking awesome again. So
yeah, I think it's just better to wait till it's really the right time to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then people will be clamoring for it.
Yeah,
I know I am. I'm as much
any venues left.
Yeah.
I mean that's not really not a joke.
I know it's
a possibility.
Yeah. It's going to hurt a lot of people really, really horribly.
I mean, especially venues, small venues. So like venues that you're going to play with Ratt or something, a lot of the clubs and things, the larger clubs and stuff that are rock venues. And they just, man, they're not a restaurant. They're not this, they're not that. They're not, they have no money.
Yeah. So they can't stay open and make money doing anything right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually saw a post. There's a long time place here in kind of like the Baked Potato by you guys. Here it's called the Funky Biscuit. And they have great acts and stuff like that. And they were just posting that they need support. Otherwise they're in danger of closing.
Well, yeah, a friend of mine owns There's a country bar out here called the Cowboy Palace, which has been around like, I don't know when it originated, but it's a really funky old country bar that's really cool place. And he's been, closed. He's the owner that for the last several years. And a lot of the regulars chipped in and did a lot of GoFundMe things. So, now he has enough money to pay the rent with some negotiation with the landlord for like a year at least. So, that's good.
Yeah, that is good.
But, it can only go on so long. I mean, how much can you, ask people to donate and, help you out?
Yeah, and you're asking people to donate who themselves might need donations.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Well, right now. So it's so terrible.
Yeah, it sucks. But we actually got a good question right off the bat from Quincy, which I'll post right here. He said, "Hey, Jordan, how'd you get the gig with Ratt?" So that certainly was, one of my initial questions. But I mean, you've been playing guitar. You're young, right? I mean, you're much younger than me. How old are you?
Yeah, I turned 29 last month.
Right. So I mean, I'm impressed as shit with that, Jordan, because to be that young and already, as successful as you are in bands with Marty Friedman and Ratt. So maybe we should take it back. Let's go back. Before you how'd you get into guitar and then lead into all this stuff that you're doing now?
It's I guess it's a long story, but when I was a kid, I wasn't really into guitar players that were, kind of super lead players. I kind of grew up listening to Beatles and things like that. And then what really got me into guitar was when I started playing guitar, that's when Santana's album, Supernatural, came out. And I really loved the song Smooth. I just loved the lead playing on that and the guitar tone and everything. And it just, for some reason, really spoke to me. So that's what really got me to start playing guitar. And then from there, I was really into what was really popular at the time was like Blink-182 and Sum 41 and those kind of pop punk bands. So I was really into playing a lot of punk rock guitar. So that's kind of getting my rhythm chops up. And the great thing about that is I think about it, and there's a lot of people that when they were my age, they were really into like Eddie Van Halen or something like that. And for me, I think that if I started playing guitar with the aspirations to sound like Eddie Van Halen, I'd realize how difficult it was because I was 7 years old. So I feel like I couldn't really quite play like that at 7 years old. So I feel like it's deterring. But for me, I played stuff that was actually really easy, just pop punk stuff. So immediately I could start playing in bands. I could play with a drummer. I could actually do stuff. And that's really inspiring to be able to write music at that age. That's you're really able to do it. So as time went on, that's when I finally discovered things actually the first time I ever heard anyone really play really fast on the guitar was actually Marty Friedman. He was the first guy I ever heard. I was maybe 13 years old and I heard Cacophony. And I was just holy shit, I had no idea that people even played guitar like this. I didn't even know it was a thing that existed. So then I went down the whole, I played a lot of thrash metal stuff when I was in high school. And I actually had a band called Age of Evil. And that was my brother on drums and my two best friends on bass and vocals and rhythm guitar. And we actually put out a first record that we wrote. I was around 14 when we wrote it, and it came out when I was around 15. And then we actually got invited to go play in a festival in Germany called Bang Your Head Festival. So I went to Germany when I was 15 to do this festival, and it was really cool. We were opening for Heaven and Hell was the headliner that year. So it was really cool for me. And then it just kept snowballing. And then someone really liked us, and they started their own record label in Germany just because they liked us so much, and made a record label so that we could do a record with them. So then we did an EP the following year, and I was just playing thrash metal with them for in the band Age of Evil for 5 years, and in fact, this is even funnier. The first record we did, our record producer in Arizona was kind of friends with Marty Friedman. So Marty Friedman did a guest solo on my first record that I ever did. And then kind of years go by, and a friend of mine, his name is Chris Catero, he worked at Crank Amps. If you remember Crank Amps, he was the artist relations guy there. And he was Marty Friedman's bass player at one time. And then I did a band with him called Razor, and he sent our album to Marty, and Marty said, hey, I really like your guitar player. Do you think he'd want to play in my band? And then he, you know, sent me all that. That was around the time Inferno came out. So he sent me all that stuff before it came out and just said, hey, learn this to see if I could play it. And he really wanted me to play in his band. But then I played in Marty's band on the first tour, and I told him, hey, remember that band, Age of Evil, that you did a guest solo on? He's like, oh, yeah, I remember that. I'm like, that was me. He's like, oh, I didn't even know that was you. It's just funny. It's just like really funny, full circle kind of experience, you know?
Yeah, that's interesting.
And
kind of, did you have in the back of your mind, they were thinking like maybe he did think it was me, and that's kind of the connection that he made? Or
you know, I kind of honestly forgot about it.
Oh, okay.
My memory's not so good because I drink so many martinis.
Cheers.
But then we talked about it, and it was hilarious because he totally forgot about it, and I kind of forgot about it too. But it was funny. But anyways, yeah. So then I was playing in his band for a while, and then you know, I put out a Craigslist ad in Los Angeles and said, "Hey, guitar player looking for a band. I'm pretty good." And then Ratt called me. No, I'm totally kidding. That's not how that happened. It was a mutual friend of mine that was friends with Piercy, and just kind of, you know, he knew that they were looking for a new guitar player, and just said, hey, like, Jordan's your guy, basically. And I went and did an audition with them, and it was just really instantaneous, like, good chemistry playing with everybody, you know, just like within 5 seconds we were all looking at each other like, yeah, like, this totally works. You know?
So what was the audition process like for them?
I just came out to LA, and Juan has a cool, like, kind of rehearsal thing at his house, and we just jammed like 5 or 6 songs or something like that, and that was pretty much it. I know they were auditioning other guitar players, but I don't know exactly how they ran the whole rehearsal process. But
right. But for you, did they give you the songs to learn, or you just kind of went in like, these are the 5 songs?
They gave me the songs to learn. They told me what songs to learn. I don't even remember what songs they were, but yeah, it was just really cool because it was just like that instant groove, you know, when you just play with the right people. You know, it just felt really good. Like, it was just instantaneously really, like, in the pocket, you know, it just felt good. So
now, were you a fan of Ratt growing up?
I was. In high school, I listened to Ratt quite a bit, actually. Warren was definitely he was one of my favorite guitar players in high school, for sure.
So what's that like, replacing Warren?
Well,
it's an interesting, you're coming into an interesting situation, sort of.
It is an interesting situation.
By doing that.
You know, and the way I guess I look at it is that I respect him so much, and with anyone that I respect, it's like, I don't feel like I'm replacing anybody. I'm just like, I'm coming in, and this is just our version of Ratt, and I'm just kind of doing my thing, you know, being very respectful to Warren because I want to play stuff very, very similarly to how he did it, but I don't want to play it exactly how he did it because I'm not a cover guitar player, so it's like I still have to do it my own way. So I don't really feel like I'm replacing him. I just feel like this is the version that it is, you know, because it just doesn't work with Warren in the band anymore with the, you know, everyone in the band.
Tension between everyone, yeah.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like replacing anybody. I just feel like I'm just going to come in and do kind of my thing, and hopefully people really like what I do, you know?
Ah, cool.
Yeah, definitely. Did you, I mean, there are some fans that are like so vocal about, if it's not Warren, it's not Ratt, and, you know, all that crap. And
you know what? That's their prerogative. You know,
yeah.
There's always going to be people like that in any type of situation when someone new comes into a band, you know? So it's like,
that's so true.
So I don't really care. It's like either you like it or you don't. But if you just say no Warren, no Ratt, maybe just listen to what I do and then decide if you like what I do or not. They probably don't even care to listen.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. And first of all, you know what? There's a guy that I've heard of who's joined bands replacing other guitar players in some amazing bands, and his name is Steve Vai.
Yeah. Steve Vai? I've never heard of Steve Vai.
Yeah, he had a pretty good career.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I think what you said was exactly right. It's the version of Ratt that exists, and you're the guitar player, and nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, because I'm not going to come in and be a Warren DeMartini clone. I don't want to do that. That's ridiculous. Like, why would you want to do that in a band that's not a cover band? We're a real band. Like, we are Ratt. Why would you want to get someone to come in and be a cover guitar player of Warren DeMartini? That's kind of backwards thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, there's elements of the song that you have to.
Of course. And of course, yeah. I play things like very, very similarly to him, but it's like, it's not like I'm not going to cop his exact feel. Everyone has a different feel on the guitar, it's just.
So I got to ask this. So were there times since you've been playing with Ratt that you felt like, maybe I made a mistake? No. I mean, I'm just referring, there were some rough times for Steven there for a minute, and some rough shows.
Steven is doing absolutely fantastic, and just,
that's good because
such a great guy. He's such a great guy,
That's awesome.
That's good that he's doing better now. So that's awesome, because I was a little scared for him there for a second.
Yeah, no, he's doing fantastic. He's such a good guy. He's a kind-hearted human being, like very kind-hearted.
Awesome.
That's good. Yeah, it was a bit scary there for a second, but I actually saw Ratt with Warren right before he left. There was a gig here at Fort Lauderdale, and it was a great show. And but yeah, it's and then I've seen videos of you playing, and you guys are killing it too. And then of course, then you got the Geico commercial.
Mm-hmm.
That's super cool.
Which is fucking awesome.
The Geico commercial was hilarious. It's just funny how that all came about, and I really couldn't believe it till I was like, I don't really watch that much TV, so I've only seen it on TV maybe like a really small handful of times. But man, like when I did watch TV, I swear I saw it like once, like 5 times in one night. It was crazy. It's like, this is crazy,
It's all over constantly, the TV. I mean, I work from home.
It's still playing.
Yeah, it's awesome. So how did that come about? I mean, because
honestly, I was told how it came about, but I don't remember exactly how it came about.
It's too many martinis.
It's too many fucking martinis.
When he doesn't remember something, no matter what it is, it's too many martinis.
That's cool. But it's funny as shit, though. I mean, that's a great commercial. I remember when I first saw it, I did like a double take. Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy shit. So are you guys playing in it? It sounds like you guys are actually playing in it. Like it's not a track. Yeah.
So I re-recorded all the guitars for it. We basically just re-recorded the song for that commercial.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. It sounds like it was. Kind of sounds like you're playing in that bathroom. That's so funny. So you're a gear nerd like the rest of us, I think.
I totally am. Yeah.
So I we were talking the other night. So tell us about the gear you got back there.
Well, I still have most of my stuff at home in Arizona, but like I have a 77 JMP 100 watt that used to belong to Mike Saldano, and it sounds amazing. And then I have this white 50 watt plexi that I kind of use to record leads, all the lead stuff. And then back there you can't see it, but there's like a black 100-watt plexi as well. And this red cab has 25-watt blackbacks in it. And then I have a basket weave cab over there that has some 30-watt 55 hertz greenback heritage speakers.
You almost have the same cabinets as I do in this room. Oh yeah, one with old blackbacks, and then I have old 30 blackback
55 hertz. Yeah, those are and you know what? You need both, I think. I'm learning that both do different things. You know, I really like the blackbacks for leads, I think, a little bit more. And then the 30-watt ones are like a little girthier for rhythms and have more low-end punch to them. Just like I like the 50 watts for leads because I think they're a little smoother and you get more compression out of them. Mm-hmm. And then the 100 watts I love for rhythms because they're just that guttural, punch.
Yeah, loud.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. So Dave, you
then on tour, weren't you using some of the Synergy stuff too?
Yes. Yeah. On tour, I use the Friedman, the BE. What is it? It's just the BE, the one that's not like the super high gain one.
Yeah, the BE one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one.
Were you just taking a Syn 1 around or something, just so if you rental gear and stuff? Is that what
So I would plug a Syn 1
into the loop.
The little BE plugged into like a JCM 2000 or JCM 900, and it sounded really
just plug it into the loop, right?
Yep, just right into the loop. Sounds amazing. That's
a great way to travel and do that with, and you're not reliant on the what you're going to get.
Exactly. It at least cuts out the preamp section of the, but obviously with fly dates, it just kind of sucks because it is what it is. But that really saved my life, bringing those preamps around, because it really just all of a sudden my tone was just really good consistently everywhere I went. It sounded, you know what I mean? It sounded really similar. So I'm very grateful that exists in the world.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. It's an awesome. I've got one sitting right here.
Mm-hmm.
I run it through a Fryette power station.
Mm-hmm.
But they're so cool, man. The Synergy stuff. So what modules were you using? Using the Friedman BE one?
Just the Friedman one. Honestly, I have the Saldana one too, and that one's pretty cool for leads, I guess, but it's more scooped and I get less definition out of each note. I really like that pring kind of sound.
Yeah. If you're the Marshall fan, like the Plexi fan, then you like the BE.
Yeah, the BE,
that kind of thing.
It does exactly what I need it to do. No overdrive. It just honestly straight into that, and just that's it. Call it a day. It's just right on the money.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean it sounds good. But we were talking the other night, Jordan, about plexis. So you now have this like newfound love for plexis.
I do. I have like 4 or 5 of them now. I think 4 or 5. I have 5 of them, but they're still mostly in Phoenix.
All vintage ones?
No, just like reissues, and then this custom one. I can't remember what his name is that made it. It's just an all hand wired. It's a hand wired 100 watt it's kind of modded a little bit. It's pretty cool. I still have to bring that one here, but
next up is vintage ones.
Yeah, then that's the logical next step. It's so funny. I just look at the prices of vintage ones and I'm like, yeah, but I could buy like 2 or 3 of these, or because I've been on this weird. It's honestly, so I started buying plexis at the end of last year. And then quarantine started and I got so bored and I was looking on Craigslist every single day. And that's when I ended up with all these amps. And I have like 9 Marshall cabinets at home. Just like all different greenbacks and blackbacks and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. and now I don't even know what to do with them because I don't need all of them. But like I was just on this this hunt. And I bought this one of the limited edition Jimi Hendrix cabs. That's like the pinstripe cab. Yeah. And I bought it empty. And then I haven't even filled it with speakers yet, but I have 2 30-watt 55 hertz blackbacks that I haven't put into it yet. So I'm going to fill that one with all black backs. I'm going to do like an X pattern with the 30 watts and the 25 watts, so that it's like, that'll be my studio cabinet, so that I don't need to switch between cabinets. I can just, you know, move the microphone and switch between speakers.
Yeah, sure. Perfect.
So what's the tonal difference between those two speakers then? Just out of curiosity.
What do you think? We're just more
between low. Which two exactly again? Sorry.
The 30 watt 55 hertz and then the 25 watt 75 hertz.
Well, the 30 watts a little. It tends. The resonant peak is shifted, so it's shifted lower. So 55 hertz is lower than 75 hertz. So it's shifted lower. So the low end bump on the speaker is at a lower frequency. So it's almost kind of like slightly heavier sounding of a speaker. Sometimes it seems maybe more bright with less mids, with a bigger bottom, like lower lows. And then the greenbacks have more mids to it. They're definitely different, but also old speakers are way different than like reissue ones of them.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
So, yeah, I was lucky enough to score a couple, like the cabinet behind me, vintage. It's a vintage checkerboard cab, and I have another one on the other side of the room. And, you know, I scored those at unbelievable deals.
Yeah.
Thanks to someone I knew, you know, like half price.
Yeah. Well, I look, you know, those, if you want to buy the early 70s, the real ones, the 30 watt 55 hertz greenbacks, they're like, people are trying to sell them now for $2,000 for 4 of just the speakers.
Yeah, I got the whole cabinet for $700.
Do you want to sell it for 800?
No. I won't sell these two cabs, although I use the 75s the most. But I don't know. I brought them home when I took them out of my shop after the pandemic came, because I put a kind of a thing here in my house where I could work and stuff also. So they're just here now, and I just use them all the time, and I'm like, God, they sound good.
Well,
it's an old house with a wood floor that's raised, so it's like even the room sounds good, you know. Like,
well, now that I'm here, you know, you have to be my amp guy. I got to bring my amps to you.
Oh yeah, I can make the reissues sound like old ones.
Yeah. I want you to work.
Mark knows.
I was telling him.
Yeah.
I was telling him. Yeah, definitely. So, but you have a vintage one. I mean, the red one's 72, right?
77.
77.
Yeah.
Still.
It's a Soldano mod though on it, right?
No, it's just all original.
Oh, it's all original. Oh, okay.
It's all original.
Master volume.
Yeah. And I had a 76 50 watt JMP, and it had the small Marshall logo on it and the metal switches on it. So like it was like the very first run of the master volume amps before they transitioned to the big logo and the plastic switches on it. But the 50 watt one, just to me, it was just I was reading about them. You know, I know a good amount about Marshalls, but I don't know everything about them. But apparently the very first version of the 50 watt master volume, there was something with cast
gain.
Something, it was just weird. It just didn't sound that great.
It wasn't. So it was basically like there was a bass input and a treble input and just a normal master, so it was less gain than the later ones. They weren't cascaded yet.
Oh, okay.
And that was it. But they can be changed to make it right. But
right.
The ones to stay away from, though, are the later 70s amps, square switches, 50 watts. You don't want those because they put 6550s in and they lowered the plate voltage to like 380 volts, and that sounds fuzzy and not right.
Oh, okay.
So like any of the square switched 50 watts, stay away from.
Oh, okay.
And but the square switched hundreds are great. You can make a 50 great, but you have to put a new power transformer in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so just some tidbits.
Yeah, I'm always learning more about them. I don't know what, like, I've always liked Marshalls, but now I'm just like really deep into the whole thing. And yeah, it's fun. It's kind of fun to read about it and read about speakers and read about the amps. So
yeah, the whole history of it.
I think in the chat people are bidding on my cabinet. I'm not exactly sure what these numbers mean, but one's 900 and then one's 1,500.
1,000 shit.
I don't know if they're bidding on it or just guessing on prices before I said it. I'm not sure.
Even 1,500 would be.
In fact, maybe I should read the chat and I'd figure it out. But
by the way,
1,000 shipped. Final offer, Dave. No, they're not for sale.
Shipped, it'll cost $300.
Well, everything's for sale for the right price, but definitely these days not shipped.
Right.
Because they the shippers have put a surcharge on large packages.
Mm-hmm.
So a cabinet that used to cost say $130 to ship now is like $260.
That's crazy.
And it's the size of the package, and I'm not sure why. It happened with COVID. They put it out there. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it's the volume of packages they're getting. And I mean, I talked to my FedEx guy, and he's like, "Yeah, don't worry about your amps. Half the time we're moving furniture these days. People ordering furniture, and it's showing up in FedEx, and we got to take these massive boxes." I'm like, "Oh God, poor guys."
That's crazy. Yeah, actually, it's ironic because I guess a lot of people decided to do remodeling and shit for their houses during this time. Because my wife decided to do the same thing, like get a bedroom set, and like everything was sold out. Everything.
Oh yeah. No, you're just bored. I mean, I was looking at my dining room chairs, and I'm like, I gotta get new chairs. Okay, I'm buying new chairs. And then you just go click, 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 and okay, they're gonna be here today.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be here today, and I don't think they showed up.
Did you get them on Amazon?
Not these particular chairs, but I've gotten some other stuff. Thousands of other things on Amazon. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think I might have a problem there.
Amazon's the best and the worst.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know what Amazon's great for, man, is like if you realize you need something, like, I have a pool here, and it's like, oh, we're out of suntan lotion.
Yeah.
You go on there, and I go, well, let's just buy like 4 bottles, you know, and click, 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 and it's, on its way to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Get in a day or two. And I'm like, man.
Because leaving the house for stuff that's so passe,
especially now.
Yeah.
But, I could have
groceries, order them.
Yeah.
Do you still order the groceries too?
I don't always order groceries, but we do. I mean, split it maybe. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't.
Right. Yeah.
It depends on if I feel like I need to be there for the grocery experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe I'm just bored and I just want to go to the grocery store.
Well, that's the thing. Like, going out now is going shopping for groceries. It's like, I'm going out today. It's going to be fun.
Right. Or I want to go.
Yeah. Or I'm going to go actually pick up the food I'm going to take home tonight instead of delivery.
Lots of fun. So
we got some super chats.
Oh, we do?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Vincent Moretti.
You want to get it?
Yeah. My amigos, hope you guys are well. Question for Dave. I built a 20-watt Marshall-esque amp in Bruce Egnator's class. I'd like to tweak it. Have you modded those amp kits? Is a JJ possible? Yes. It's possible. Yes. Pretty sure. I've seen schematics of them. Yes, they can be done. Yes, I could tell you how to do it. Maybe.
Or he can send it to you.
Or you can send it to me. Either way.
Yeah.
Because I need another box in my living room to go with the other 10 or so.
James Maxwell, thanks for the super chat. Thanks for email help, Dave. I ordered a PT20 heading cab from Sweetwater. Yes, switching from Kemper to real amps live again. Awesome. I hope you used our link for Sweetwater. If you did,
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. That's all right. But while I'm saying that, make sure you guys hang on. Check out.
If you listeners want to support the channel, please check out Sweetwater and check the link out. And it helps support our channel, which is nice because we don't get anything to do this,
except like the occasional beer, maybe. But that's it. So yeah, check out Sweetwater and click the link. It'll take you right to Sweetwater, and then anything you buy there, we get a little commission on, basically. So that's cool. And thanks for the super chat, James. So yeah, I actually love the PT20. I had it, but because I had the BE100 behind me, and I also have the JJ, I didn't need it all. So I actually sold I had the Wildwood PT20. So I sold it. But great amp.
Yeah,
Bastard.
don't.
It was in red Tolex, actually. Even cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. The guy who got it from me on Reverb loved it. So,
Does red Tolex sound better, do you think?
It's got an edge.
I don't know. You should ask Jakey Lee.
Yeah, I think red Tolex sounds better. It's a little brighter, I think.
Red or maybe purple.
Yeah. Well, purple makes
which one sounds better, purple or red?
Red has a different tone, but purple just makes you play faster.
Oh,
that's it.
Yeah.
Now, what the hell does snakeskin do for you?
I have no idea.
Yeah. No, please no. Don't do the snakeskin. Well, unless it's like something cool, like the like alligator black.
Yeah.
Or, not the traditional snakeskin. Not the old Soldano snakeskin. Please no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if any of you like that, but I don't particularly like it. So I didn't like it even back in when it was popular.
It's a little passe.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but I made a B100 head shell with it once.
You did? But it was a special order, right?
I wanted it, and we made it.
It wasn't
wasn't my thing, let's say. It wasn't my thing. But man, he was really happy, so I'm happy that he was happy.
Mm-hmm.
Now that Tolex, I mean, it's just imitation snakeskin, right? That's all it is.
No, real snake.
Real snake. Okay.
Yeah, that's real snake. To make this him.
Speaking of that, can you remember when Warren did the skin on the guitar, the snake skin or whatever on the guitar?
Yeah,
like real skin. Can you imagine how much that affected the tone?
It was.
You got to think about it. It's like Tolexing a guitar, basically.
Yeah, I can't imagine it was like necessarily
thinner, but
I can't imagine it was the best thing, but
yeah,
he made it work.
He did make it work. It did work.
Iconic too. Actually, a friend of mine just sent me a picture of it.
Oh my god, it's probably peeling now.
No, it's actually. You want to see it? I'll show it.
This is a real guitar. Actually, his guitar.
This is the actual guitar that is in a someplace. Let me find it. Hang on. Figure I can't pull it up. Here it is. Let's see. I'll make it a little bigger for you guys. Can you see it?
Yeah, can't. Oh yeah.
So it's
you kind of see it.
It's in a bar. Where is it? In Reykjavik, Iceland.
Wait,
I think a Hard Rock in Iceland.
Oh, like it's there right now?
Yeah.
In Iceland?
Or is it on loan?
I guess. I don't know. That's what they wrote me.
There's Hard Rocks left.
I know, right?
I guess in Iceland.
Iceland still exists? I would have thought they would have gone out of business with no
Those martinis are kicking in, aren't they?
That's funny. Yeah, well, they might have melted by now.
Yeah, because tourism is what pays to keep it not melted. Yeah, exactly. Everyone knows that.
Keeps it cold.
Yeah,
for sure. So We got some questions about your Cherval stuff that you do. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, sure.
Mike Tempesta. Where's Mike?
Tempesta.
Where's Mike?
Yeah, Mike's a good dude.
The Eric Johnson.
Yeah, that is the Eric Johnson, by the way.
How did Jordan decide on blue sparkle for the Cherval? Honestly, I just don't feel like I've seen a lot of blue sparkle guitars, and I just wanted to do something that was a little bit different. And it's weird because growing up, red was always my favorite color, and I hated blue my whole life. And then in the last 4 years, blue became one of my favorite colors. And I'm like, I don't have any blue guitars. So I decided to do the blue sparkle Cherval, and I wanted it to be a Tele. I wanted to do a reverse Tele headstock on it because I didn't want the Fender Strat looking headstock on it. I wanted it to look like a cross between a Cherval and a Fender, but almost more like a Fender Telecaster than a Cherval. And I did the double binding on it to make it look like a early 60s Tele, and just little details that I thought could, and the pickguard too. So I just wanted to make it look kind of modern vintage, I guess, is the best way to explain it.
Cool.
But yeah, I love the blue sparkle on it. It looks so cool live.
Yeah, definitely. Now, is that the same one that has the Hello Kitty on it, or no?
Mm-hmm. It is.
Okay.
Yeah, and a couple of my guitars have the Hello Kitty on it, and it literally kind of started as a joke, to be honest. I had this purple Cherval that had a pink Hello Kitty sticker on it. That was my initial Ratt guitar. But I
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I had that guitar before I was playing with Ratt, and that's the guitar I used when I went to jam with them the first time. And I know they were like, "The fuck is this dude bringing in a fucking purple guitar with a pink Hello Kitty sticker on it?" I just thought it was fucking hilarious. And then on top of that, I knew that people would be kind of upset that Warren wasn't in the band anymore. So I thought it was extra hilarious to have a guitar with a pink Hello Kitty sticker on it. So I just kept playing it, and it just kind of, like I said, it was kind of a joke, but then people really loved it, and it seemed like a lot of girls loved that I had the Hello Kitty thing on it. So it's just it kind of, I don't know, it just made people happy that I did that. So now I just kind of like putting Hello Kitty on my guitar, even though it started as a joke. It's kind of just become a thing that I like to do.
Right. That's funny. Yeah, I have to say, even when I first saw it, I was like, what's he doing?
Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing.
Hey, but it worked, right? So
yeah.
Now, if you have to come out with a signature model, you have to have a license from Hello Kitty.
I know. Well, what I'll do is I'll sell the Hello Kitty stickers on my website and keep all the money for the stickers.
And there you go.
Yeah, I want to embezzle from Hello Kitty.
Yeah, it won't take very long before they shut you down.
That's true.
You better lawyer up.
Yeah, lawyer up.
Hello Kitty's my thing now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to take over the Beanie Baby world. I'm going to put those on my guitar.
Beanie Babies?
Beanie Babies on your guitar. Okay.
Yeah. How about that? Or Bedazzle.
Just glue them on the guitar. Just a bunch of Beanie Babies.
Exactly. Just dolls
that would sound even better than snakeskin.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What about the Jackson stuff that you're playing? What model do you play Jackson?
So the Jackson that I play is just a kind of a custom shop. It's a Monarch, which is like their kind of Les Paul type looking guitar. No, let me call it single cut to make it more PC. Their single cut guitar. And basically it's just basically that, but it has like an arch, a different type of arch top on it, and it's a 7-string, and it has, in their 7 strings normally have like a 25.5 inch scale length, and I made it 24.75 to make it more like a Gibson scale length, because I actually like the short scale length because I really like how the leads feel on it. And I like to use kind of heavier gauge strings. And when I wear it lower, it feels more comfortable to me because the distance is a little shorter. So it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like just more comfortable to wear low. So that guitar had a lot of thought put into it as far as playing it live, because I like to wear my guitars pretty low, and it has a much thicker neck on it than like the production guitar does, and the body's thicker too.
That was by spec, by your choice that you wanted it that way?
Yeah, I like really fat necks. Like my favorite guitars have like early 50s, kind of like a 54 Strat neck, or a 58 Les Paul neck. Those are like, that's kind of like, I really love that kind of stuff. I like the Cherval necks too, but I've just, for some reason, grown really accustomed to really fat necks on my guitar.
I'm the same way. I prefer a fatter neck on a guitar. My Tele over here, it's, you know, like a 52 reissue Tele. It's got that U boat neck. It's just fat. It's fat as fuck. I mean, and then I had God, who did the neck for me? Then I had the neck basically made the same size for a kind of a one humbucker style, you know, super Strat kind of guitar. Just super fat neck. But then I'll go to like an Ibanez and I'll play like a wizard neck.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. So it's like going from one, I seem to be able to adapt to that, you know, going from a real fat neck to a skinnier neck. How do you feel when you do that? I mean, can you adapt?
It hurts my hand because I think, I don't know. I feel like, so I have really big hands, first of all. Chicks like my hands. But anyways, I feel like I can't grab onto anything. So what ends up happening is like, I feel like my thumb is kind of like floating and I get like hand cramps, honestly, when I play really thin necks. And when I first started playing with Marty, actually, like I had pretty bad tendinitis in my hands. Like it hurt me to play guitar for even short periods of time. So ever since then, I'm just pretty sensitive to certain things. Like thin necks really fuck with my hands. It literally hurts my hands, so I can't even do it.
Yeah. It's I don't get a cramp with it, at least the RG 550 that I have for my hand, but it is the thinnest neck I've ever had. That's for sure.
Yeah, they just don't feel comfy to me, and they don't feel like anything. They just, like, when I hit a really hard chord with a fat neck, I feel the neck actually like resonating.
Yes.
You know?
I find the fatter neck, there's more vibration in the body and the neck of the guitar. I don't know. What do you think about that, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite necks actually is, and it goes from an old Fender, basically, is an old V-necks.
Right.
I tend to like kind of a soft V because it fits kind of right in the palm of your hand, you know, right down. The V fits right in the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
And you're not getting some of what you were saying where you're resting your thumb on a really thin neck.
Right.
It's filling it out. Those can be a little skinnier and still feel like they're filling your hand out. I really like that. It's funny. I mean, I like the guitars that I do and the guitars that we make. Some of my favorite guitars, I have a couple road worn Fender Strats that have been kind of hot rodded and stuff. And that they're the 50s ones. So they're a V neck. They're not the biggest neck in the world. But the V just fits my hand nicely. So I don't know.
The V necks are pretty comfy.
Yeah. I've got a V neck on my G&L.
I also have a weird thing for, like, I particularly like, I don't like super flat radiuses either. I actually prefer a rounder radius.
I get it. Yeah.
Especially for rhythm stuff, a rounder radius is awesome. I understand that it can fret out, you know, if you're playing leads, you know, super high up the neck, but, you know, hey, raise your action a little.
I like pretty high action with thick strings. You know, I really like to dig into the guitar and be able to smack on it without it going out of tune. You know, so I get that. Do you like, I mean, would you say you like 12-inch radius necks?
I like it rounder than that.
You like it rounder, so like
like 9,
like a Fender, like an old
9,
Fender.
10. No, well, not like the. I mean, I even like the vintage radiuses, but not if you're gonna be soloing
like 9.5, not like
9.5, something like that.
Not the 7 1/4. That's
it's brutal. I had.
I like that too.
Do you?
Yeah.
But if you're doing chords,
it feels really
playing rhythm, it's fine.
It feels really good on rhythm, like super. Yeah.
I agree.
It almost feels better on rhythm. Well, I mean, a lot of our guitars are compound radius, so
right,
10 to 14. So
yeah. Did Grover really invent that?
Yeah,
compound radius. That's amazing. That sucks that you can't he couldn't trademark that.
I don't know how I feel about compound radius, honestly, but I mean, I think it's cool.
I think a lot of people love it. I'm kind of the kind of person that can kind of grab a ton of different guitars as long as it's not a fucking Ibanez wizard neck and I can kind of play on it, But I think a lot of people like all those kind of spec things where it's like, oh, so it's, rounder over here for rhythm and then, flatter over here for leads. And I'm kind of just like, okay, but like
I can make it work no matter what it is.
Is that going to make you play better? I find the people that are the pickiest about that stuff are like, okay, well, let me hear you play guitar.
well, the funny thing that was pretty interesting for me is I remember when Steve Stevens would always tell me, he goes, "Nah, I like my action a little higher," and he goes, "Just when you think it's high enough for me, set it just a little higher."
Mm-hmm.
He goes, because the guitar will ring properly.
Exactly.
And it's funny. I was adjusting a guitar that he got from us for him and trying to raise it, higher because I knew. And I actually listened to it and then adjusted it and listened to it again. And I'm like, oh, I totally hear what he's talking about right now. I understood it, but I really just heard it right then. And I'm like going, oh yeah, that does sound better. It's interesting.
Yeah, I totally agree with that 100%. It took me a long time in fact, when I was younger, like in, when I was like 17 to 20 years old, I played Les Pauls most of the time. And I had 9-gauge strings on them, tuned down a half step.
Yeah.
And the action was super fucking low. I was being such a little bitch about it, and then eventually it's like now I use 11s with like pretty high action on it, and I play way better.
Well, the interesting thing is the tone with strings.
It's everything.
Well, it's interesting because sometimes going too big on strings actually
it's rid of the snap.
It's like too bassy or too dark, or it doesn't quite work. I agree. I mean, for me, I'll just do 10s at that E flat. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But there's a thing about 9s.
Yeah.
Like for those guys, especially with old vintage Marshalls, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
There's a thing about really like gauge strings with those old vintage Marshalls because, some of them tend to not be as tight as modern amps and things like that. And the less bass that you're pumping through the front end of them, the better, the tighter it will seem. So if you can get away with 9s, like the Van Halen thing was, a 9 to 40 set originally at E flat.
That's crazy to me. I can't.
At E flat. But if you're just listening and not worrying about how you're playing the guitar and knocking it out of tune, and you listen to these old plexi amps and you listen to those string gauge, you're like, I get it. It really just sounds good that way.
Well, it's definitely in a way a tighter sound, and you get more snap out of the string. So like I can understand that. So I just kind of will set my amp accordingly to kind of the gauge strings I'm using. So like you know exactly how it works. When you turn up the volume on the amp more, it starts to get more flubbery. There's like that sweet spot. And then, turn the low end down a bit, and it just works for me. But but I think everything more than 11s is completely loses all that snappiness out of it.
Now, is that 11 to 48? Or
yes.
Is it? Yeah. Okay.
It's 11 to 48.
That's slightly lighter on the bottom 11 set.
Yeah, but I also pick super hard to get that snap out of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you're in standard?
Down a half step.
Okay. All right. So that helps.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, we're talking about EVH. He also played with a very thin pick back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all, that's the other thing. It's also, I think I've brought this up on other shows. So, a lot of the time, I remember when I first got one of his Wolfgang guitars, and it was small frets, and I had it set up just like his, actually by what's his name at Fender. The name is escaping me right now. And
Mike Shen?
Yeah, no. No. The guy was going to come on our show, but hasn't yet. Does the EVH guitars?
Oh, Chip Ellis.
Chip Ellis.
Oh, yeah.
And Chip had set it up, and it's nines, E flat, but small frets. And if you think about this for a minute, it totally makes sense. It's all scalable, so to speak. So you don't want nines at E flat with big, huge frets. You're going to pull it out of tune.
Right. Yeah, because when you fret it down, if you push too hard, you have all that room to push it out of tune.
Exactly. And so small frets with the light strings make total sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
That makes total sense. Also, the gauge of pick you're going to use. You're not going to use a super heavy pick on nines down to E flat with big frets. Oh my God, you'll never be in tune.
Right.
You I mean, ever. So a light pick makes sense with small frets with light strings like that. Totally makes sense. It's all scales appropriately. You know what I mean?
No, that makes perfect sense. I've never actually really quite thought about it that deep.
Yeah. And it kind of dawned on me when I was playing this guitar, and I'm like going, okay, I got to be careful how I'm hitting this guitar. Because you can easily knock it out of tune, but if you try, because at one point in time he was using a light pick, and if you use a light pick, which I tried with those strings and those smaller frets, it's just like, oh yeah, it's fine now.
Mm-hmm.
But use the extra heavy, stone pick or something, and
Okay. Flub out.
Whoa.
A lot of people use immensely heavy gauge picks today, and
I don't like heavy gauge picks.
Once again, you lose that snappy sound out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are you using?
I use like 1.0, which is fairly on the heavier side compared to what you would consider light, but I mean, I know people that use 2.0, which is like
it's like so. I use a 0.73.
Yeah,
which to me,
I don't know. I use a medium. I like celluloid pick.
I like the old. A medium's probably around what I use, probably.
Like a Fender medium pick, just a standard celluloid pick.
Yeah.
In fact, my favorite ones always have been the confetti picks.
Those are probably about a 1.0, like you said.
Yeah, don't you think they're somewhere around like 1.0, something like that?
Yeah, probably something like that. I like to bend them actually, and a little bit, because you can kind of morph it to how you want it to be. You can kind of bend it a little bit if you want it a little stiffer or not. I mean, they get out of shape and they wear out quick, but it's okay. I love those confetti picks, though. The reason I really like the confetti picks is if you drop them on the ground, you can find them. The multicolored, the red, white, and blue, and the thing. You can always find them.
Yeah, that's great, because I've got these blue ones. They're Flow by Deli, which are cool, but I lose them all the time. They just disappear in the carpet, disappear in everything.
I use the Oltex ones. I don't know if you know what those are, but they're.
Oh, I know what those are. Those
are these yellowish clear ones.
Yeah.
And they have a tone to them. If you take them and kind of just you drop them compared to what other picks sound like, they have a brighter, glassier sound to them. So that alone also adds a little bit more of that snappiness, that brightness, I guess you'd call it. So,
yeah, it's really interesting if you're in the studio ever, get a whole bunch of different picks and just hear it recorded back. What the different picks do. And you'll find some stuff and oh, for this part, I'm going to use this pick.
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I really like these. They just, yeah. I feel like I use thicker strings. I do everything I can to get a brighter sound out of the guitar, you know?
Yeah, so you like it really bright.
It's not that I want it to be super bright. It's just that when I do certain things, it make like using like heavier gauge strings, like you said, makes the guitar sound a little bit darker. Yeah. So using these picks to me make the guitar have more snap come through.
Right.
It's all sort of scalable. Again, it's like all like, you know, that, like I said, the small fret, the small strings, the light pick makes total sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone just kind of finds their combination of things that work, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes perfect sense. The light gauge strings, the light pick, the small frets, all that stuff.
Totally. We got a super chat from Nick Mars. This is for you, Dave. In general, is a Friedman Dirty Shirley exponentially darker sounding than a BE100, specifically early models of both amps?
There is a cap in a Dirty Shirley that does roll off a considerable amount of top end, but there's other things in the Dirty Shirley that kind of make it brighter, so it's kind of compensating for it. It's a little on the darker. Dirty Shirley's on the darker, bassier side. Because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be this kind of vintagey, fat JTM 45-y kind of thing, classic rock sort of thing. So yes, a little less bright. But I mean, earlier B100s are darker than newer ones. Newer ones are much brighter than the older ones. Just because. Well, I mean, brighter. Either amp you can make just as bright as each other, just where you're setting the knobs, really. I just responded to some people's comments on things over the years and kind of tweaked things a bit.
Gotcha. That's cool. So we also had a question earlier from Paul Bonfiglio. He says, how different is Marty Friedman's? I think he was referring to the neck and specs on his Monarch or guitar that he played with Jackson.
Well, he uses a 6-string guitar, so it's kind of really hard to compare, I suppose, the necks, but I guess the neck is very similar in like girth. But I mean, I don't even know. It's like a 7-string versus 6-string. I'd say my 7-string is like the closest I could get to his guitar as a 7-string, because I wanted the short scale length and all those kind of specs on it. So
I missed that it was a 7-string earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you like playing the 7-string?
Honestly, I really hated it at first, but now it's really fun. I kind of enjoy it for doing different genres of music, and I enjoy playing it in Marty's band. But when I started playing in Marty's band, I never played a 7-string guitar before, but most of his music calls for the rhythms being on 7-string, so it was kind of weird. And like I said, I had tendinitis at the time, so it was just like such a brutal experience for me, because I was just physically struggling to do it. So, but now I actually really like playing on the 7-string guitars. But he doesn't play the 7 strings live because he doesn't like to play them live. He just plays everything. If he's doing rhythm stuff, it's kind of like an octave higher kind of thing.
But he records with a 7-string?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Did not know that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess the neck would be different. It's hard to judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm not like super, super nerdy about being able to explain the shape of a neck. You know, I don't really know. I want to say the 7-string guitar I have is like a D shape ish, but not like a really harsh D. It's like a soft D, so it's like closer to a C. But maybe it's a C. I honestly just haven't played that guitar in a few months, so I don't know. But Marty's guitar is definitely like a C shape.
So how would you compare the experience between touring with Marty and, you know, that experience and then with Ratt?
Well, with Ratt, we mostly just would fly out on. We did like a couple little small run tours together, where we do like 8 or 9 shows on the East Coast and be on a bus and stuff. But for the most part, we just kind of fly out on the weekends and play like a Friday and a Saturday or something like that. So But with Marty, we'll get in a bus and go play like 25 shows in 30 days.
Wow. Yeah. So back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. And do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy the touring experience?
I love touring. Yeah. Just, I love hanging out with all these people. Everyone's become really close friends of mine. And I love playing shows for people. I love traveling around and just meeting different people and meeting fans and just, I like the whole experience. I don't get to like go around and do a lot of sightseeing, but I just enjoy meeting people. I really enjoy playing for people and meeting people. So I really enjoy it.
That's cool. This is a good question, actually. Paul asks, how was your recovery from tendinitis?
Basically, I just went to like hand therapy for like 6 months. So it was kind of doing different exercises, different kinds of stretches, different kinds of heating. I forget what that thing is called, but it's like that, that muscle stimulator that like puts
TENS machine.
Yeah, I did that, different massages, and just like, and at home I would stretch my hands and I would ice my hands and heat my hands every single day. So it was just a lot of repetitive exercises, stretching, massaging, TENS machine, icing and heating. And that's really all you can really do. But luckily, eventually it kind of just went away.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank God.
In fact, it was interesting because I was talking to Marty, and Marty told me that because he knew I had the problem, but I still said I'll figure it out. I'll be able to do the gig. But he told me when he first started playing with Megadeth that he had the same problem. He had tendinitis in his hands, in one of his hands, I think, not both of them. I kind of had it in both.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, but at least you got over it, so that's good.
Oh, yeah. I was so freaked out about it. I mean, I threw my guitar at the wall one day because I was so upset because I just was like, I was scared. Like I thought I wouldn't be able to play guitar anymore.
Yeah, and then when you have it in both hands, like, because that must suck. And then the other thing is once you have it, then it's always in the back of your mind, like, am I going to fucking get it again?
Yeah, as long as I think I stretch somewhat regularly and you know what I mean? Like, yeah. At least I know if it comes back a little bit, like I know what I can do to make it go away, I feel like.
I had gotten they call it tennis elbow, but I don't play tennis. Mm-hmm. But whatever, like I got that in the elbow thing. And I had to go to physical therapy for a while, and I started doing those exercises. And this like one thing about stretching your hand, like with the rubber band.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and just put a rubber band around your fingers and doing like this kind of exercise.
Yeah, because everyone has more strength this way than they do this way.
Right.
So
it really helped a lot. That was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, tendinitis is really shitty. Stephen Douglas has a question. Which Ratt song does Jordan feel was most difficult to learn and or play live?
I felt like they all felt kind of the same to learn, but I don't know. I don't feel like there was any one that was more difficult to learn or play live. It was just kind of all fun to play because I listened to them when I was younger and knew how to play a few of them before I, played with Ratt. So, yeah.
I would think that the gig for Marty is much more technically challenging.
Yeah, the 7-string rhythm stuff is really ridiculous on some of the songs. And then we do a lot of lead stuff where we'll do octaves together, do harmonies together,
Yeah, that band is insane. I'm sorry. I mean, you guys are cool. It's fucking. I mean, and the bass player. I don't know her name, but she is Kiyoshi. Just phenomenal to watch. So much fun. She's just all over the place. So much energy. It's
Kiyoshi's so cool. I love her so much. She's just like such a cool person.
And the drummer too. I mean, he's kicking ass. I mean, it's just a great band.
Mm-hmm.
I missed you guys. I was going to go. I actually had tickets to see you at NAMM.
Was it the NAMM we did 2 years ago?
I think so.
Yeah, 2 years ago, I think, yeah.
Yeah, you were at the House of Blues?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there was another show that somehow I got pulled away and I didn't go.
Yeah, because that other show was just way fucking better than coming.
I knew I was saying that it was going to... I don't know why I missed it, because a bunch of my friends had said they went to the House of Blues and they were like, dude, that was a killer show.
I know why I missed it. I don't go to any shows.
I missed it, Dave. I went to dinner with you guys, I think.
Oh, it was my fault.
That sounds good.
But,
wait, which dinner was that?
I don't know. It might have been the steak dinner that I couldn't miss.
Oh my God, the $1,800 dinner.
That's the best. I love expensive dinners.
Oh, that was
yeah. You get the bill and everyone's at the tables looking at it, going, "Oh my God."
so fucking worth it though.
If it's great, yes.
If it's great, it's so worth it.
It can be if it's great, but
But that was great that night.
Oh yeah. No, that's the catch down there in Anaheim.
The catch.
You've been there, right? So the tomahawk steaks, which are like a huge ribeye with a bone hanging off the side of the plate. That gets expensive.
The catch,
the average price per person is like like by the time you're done is like $150 with drinks or something.
Yeah.
Times we had like
probably about 10, 12 people.
12 or 13 people, yeah. So it was it was a huge bill. It was like painful. It was really painful.
Do you like oysters?
Oh yeah.
God, I fucking love oysters. I haven't found anywhere to go since the whole quarantine thing started to get really good oysters.
Well, that's going to be hard right now.
And it's very
restaurants open again.
I'm so upset about it. In fact, I'm more upset about that than anything in the world right now.
Where are you living now? You're living here now.
I'm in Brentwood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice area.
Famous Brentwood. Where OJ.
Yes.
You can
right down there from me.
Is it right down the street?
Right down the street, yeah.
There's good oysters. There's a place that I go for oysters, but it's in Ventura. So but I like going up to Ventura and just hanging out at the beach for the day.
Well, we'll have to
not really the beach, walking around the town.
Yeah. We'll have to go get oysters when things kind of open back up.
Absolutely, man. We're doing it.
There's this place I like to go to in Santa Monica called Herringbone. Have you ever heard of it?
Oh, I know about it. Yeah, I've heard about it.
Every day, well, they're not open right now, but every day they would do happy hour from like 4 to 7, something like that. And they would do dollar oysters there, and they're like really fucking good oysters.
Oh, really? Wow.
I'll go there and eat like 40 oysters.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah. When that place opens back up, I'll let you know, and we'll go there.
Absolutely, man. We'll do it for sure. I'm totally into oysters.
Yeah,
me too.
Sushi, oysters.
Yeah, that's
Thai food.
That's the fucking love Thai food. I love Thai food. Best. I love
like really good Thai food.
I love Asian food.
Yeah. In general,
they just do it the best.
Although there isn't much good Chinese in Los Angeles. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. There is, but you have to go to San Gabriel Valley.
Where's that?
That would be, well, it's kind of out Pasadena way, sort of, kind of.
Okay.
It's not that far. Like San Gabriel Valley would be the place where all the Asian restaurants are. But yeah, that's still, I don't know. I grew up on the East Coast, so like on the East Coast, there was always really good Chinese food.
Amazing Chinese food on the East Coast.
And I mean, I grew up in Detroit, Chinese food, whatever. It was just Chinese food. It was good. And then I came here. I'm like, this isn't really Chinese food, man.
Right.
Or this is where's the egg rolls?
Yeah, and like in in Arizona and Phoenix and Scottsdale, there's like a bunch of amazing Mexican food places, and and California, I still haven't found a lot of like great Mexican food places.
Really?
Oh, really?
In LA.
That's interesting.
But maybe I mean, you know more than I do.
Great Mexican, like as a sit down place or
honestly, just anything,
like more of a authentic style stand.
Yeah, just like authentic. I'm more about authentic.
Oh, there's lots of those that they're good, and they're all a little different. There's some good stuff. I can hip you.
Yeah, I love this food conversation. I'm such a foodie.
Uh-oh. We're in trouble, man, when all this ends.
Yeah, no, we have a lot. You probably have a lot of cool places to show me.
There's a bunch of cool places, man. Although not as many. The funny thing is, I always say that there's some cool places here, but where I'm from, Detroit is where I'm from originally, and Detroit these days. Well, I mean, I'm not sure about right now, but these days, the food in Detroit's unfucking believable. The restaurants there are world class, unbelievable.
It's interesting.
Touch them here.
It's not even close. It's interesting you say that about Detroit because I did a show with Ratt in Detroit late last year at some point, and that it was like I can't remember what restaurant it was, but it was just I don't even remember what I got, but it was kind of high end ish, and it was fucking unbelievably good, and it was downtown.
Okay, well, if you could remember the name of the restaurant, I probably know it.
It was right near. I played at the Fillmore.
Okay, I know where that is. So,
not
Gray Ghost.
No. Walking distance though. I just can't fucking remember what it was.
All the restaurants are downtown are badass.
They're okay. I think it was at this restaurant where they had these bubbles outside, like these like igloo type things. Have you seen that?
Was it
like where you could reserve these, like they looked like igloos kind of, but they were clear and you could go sit in there. That's what it was, but I can't remember what it was called.
There's so many good restaurants in downtown there that is scary how good they are.
Yeah, I was really. I guess I wasn't that surprised, but it was just really.
What that town had. Well, I'm not sure what's going to happen now, but what that town had become was a mecca for chefs and artists and different things. When the town started rebuilding, it was like this huge, just like this thing that started happening there. That were, like chefs would move there and open these great restaurants but inventive restaurants, not just like a cool hip restaurant that's cool. It looks cool inside, like
great. Creative.
The food, like kind of, it's good, but not creative, not interesting.
Okay.
And, so many of the restaurants are very interesting in their choices and flavors and what they chose to put together. It's like a great song, you know what I mean? So it's like, Paul I can't pronounce your last name, Paul. Lumen, Detroit. Lumen. I actually don't know Lumen. That's one I don't know. But there's some killer ones, man. I mean,
and then this was a recommendation also, the Mayo restaurant in East LA.
Mayo for Mexican food.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
Huh. Never heard of that one.
Tamayo.
I got a great deli I know in Los Angeles.
I love it.
If you want pastrami, you got to go to Langer's Deli. Number 19 sandwich. It's unbelievable.
I love pastrami.
If you like pastrami, number 19 from Langer's. It's right across from MacArthur Park downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And they have curbside pickup, which is really nice right now. They always do anyway. And that will blow your mind. Actually, Some of the food, if you do a search on them on a YouTube, you'll see a bunch of food critics think that it might be the best pastrami in the U.S.
Hold on.
Really?
What's that called?
Langers.
How do you spell it? Like just
Langer.
I got it. I got it. All right, cool.
Number 19 is the sandwich. It's
okay.
That's the particular the specialty, at least.
19.
Number 19. There's lots of other sandwiches there with pastrami and different things, but 19's got coleslaw and rye bread and Russian dressing, and it's
love rye bread.
Stephen Douglas.
I'm just getting all hungry right now.
Oh yeah, we're all getting hungry now. So sorry, people. It's food talk, not tone talk.
Food talk. We should start a food
talk, drink talk, screw down talk.
We talk about everything on here. Yeah, definitely. I'm starting to get hungry. That's for sure.
Like I said, stuff morphs on the show a little bit, so you got to bear with us here. But all this is valuable information. Sammy Bowler.
What's up, Sammy?
How you doing, man?
Sammy Bowler. Yeah, we took Sammy to Langers. He's got the big hard eyes there. We actually ate there with him and David Black, and when he was in town for Last NAMM. Mm-hmm. And it's like kind of a religious experience.
Where does Sammy live?
Huh?
Where does Sammy live?
Detroit.
Oh, lives in Detroit. Okay.
Yeah, man. Sammy's a great guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a question here.
I think he's about your same age.
Yeah, you guys are about the same age, right?
28, 29, I think Sammy is now, right, Sammy? Answer. I think I met you when you were 24.
Could you ask Dave why the tone circuits on so many vintage amps don't make much of a difference? The tone circuits.
Like on a vintage Marshall or something, if you're talking. Well, I mean, here's the thing. The more the EQ is no different whatsoever from, say, a vintage Marshall to my amp. But the more signal level you put through the EQ, meaning the more gain stages are in front of it, the more the EQ seems active. The less signal you put through the EQ, the less it seems to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. I bet if you blast the pedal through it, the EQ seems more active.
Like an overdrive pedal?
Yeah, I mean, like if you take a stock Marshall, for instance, and just blast an overdrive pedal through it, I bet the EQ seems more active than it did with no. You know, I don't know. I haven't done that in so many years. I wouldn't do that. Oh, he's only 27. He's the baby.
Oh, you're a baby. I'm 29 now. I'm old.
He's the old man now, Sammy.
Oh, I think it was his Vinny's birthday dinner. I think that maybe that's when I missed the show. That might have been it. Not sure. Let's see. This is Frankie Lindia cool in real life? Hey,
he's not a real person.
No, he's not.
Frankie's one of my best buds.
Frankie's awesome.
Frankie lives in Burbank.
He's a good dude.
I don't know who Frankie is.
Frankie played guitar for David Lee Roth at his Vegas gigs recently.
Oh, okay. I do know who he is.
Yeah, at the Fender booth.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frankie's a.
I met him there at the Fender booth. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
I do. Sorry.
Super.
I also fucking hate him.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
He'll know what that means. He's probably not watching right now though, so it's funnier.
No, and damn him for not watching.
Yeah, there you go. Someone said, imagine Sammy and Jordan smoking those riffs in Ratt. Wow, that would be a lineup. Whew.
That would be sick.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty sick.
Because now, Ratt, that is true. Ratt, you're the only guitar player in Ratt now.
Right now, I am the only guitar player in Ratt. Yeah, we did one show where I was the only guitar player in the band.
And how'd that go?
It was good.
Was it fun?
It was fun. Yeah, it was fun.
I would imagine that would be fun to just be the sole guitar player.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was different, you know. I mean, I think Ratt is, you know, it's just known as being a 5-piece band, but you know, it was fun.
That's cool. Are there plans to replace, you know, get another guitar player?
We will, just, you know, with COVID going on right now, it's kind of just, you know, it's going to happen, you know.
There we go. We nominate Sammy.
Sammy's nominated as one of the nominees.
That would be sick.
That actually would be pretty sick, and the things you could actually do would be really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll talk to Sammy after this.
That's cool. Should I take lessons?
Always looking out for you, Sammy.
Should I take lessons from Frankie? Ethan, yes, because my cousin Rich has been taking lessons from Frankie for over a year now, and he's gotten a lot better.
But why don't you want to take lessons from me? I'm kidding. Yeah, you should definitely take lessons from Frankie. He's a great teacher.
Do you teach lessons? Do you give lessons?
Sometimes on Skype, yeah. It's not like something I do normally, but I have like a couple regular students that I like to teach. But generally, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just not generally teaching like as a full-time kind of job. And Frankie teaches a lot, so
it gets in the way of the martinis.
Yeah, it gets way the fuck in the way of the martini. Like, do you realize that I need to have a martini right now?
Sammy, how do you do so much teaching and still keep the drinking up?
Yeah, Sammy. Does Sammy like to drink too?
Sammy likes to drink.
Good. You can't trust someone that doesn't like to drink.
No, Sammy likes to drink. we have done some damage together before.
This is. Do you speak a little bit of Japanese now, Jordan?
Barely, but a little bit. Yeah. I kind of Chargy and Kiyoshi and Marty teach me Japanese, and I'll teach Chargy and Kiyoshi, you know, all the funny English, dirty words and mean things you can say to people. So
awesome.
That's kind of how it always goes when you have like foreign friends. You know, it's like, teach me all the dirty shit. You know, that's all you really want to learn.
Right.
Oh yeah, you know, you're not the only one that has said this. I mean, my buddy Pete Thorne, he was like he's had many Japanese gigs, and it's yeah, that's the same exact thing.
Yeah, it's just what you do.
That's funny. Stephen Douglas, Pink Taco $900, JJ Jr. $1,100. Which one should I pick up?
I'd get the JJ Jr. because for $200 more, you get a clean channel, a cabinet emulated DI out, and well, that's basically what you get. Oh, and another sound and a heavier sound too. So you know, yeah, get that.
Yeah, you're definitely getting. And the tone is very close to the Pink Taco.
Yeah, I mean it's a little different, but it's gonna more versatility. For a couple $100, yeah, just get the other one.
So Metal Madness wants to know if he gets a finder's fee for the idea with Sammy.
You're assuming there's any money in this, because I bet there's not, or minimal. They got to eat, you know.
Exactly. No finder's fee.
Comes out of Sammy's cut.
So Jordan, do you use pedals and stuff like that? Are you a pedal guy?
I'm honestly not much of a pedal guy, but I do work with this company called Geico Effects, and it's this guy from Romania, and he makes overdrive pedals and compressors and stuff, but he has this, it's called the Geico Effects OD8 or something like that, and it's kind of like a TS 808, like a tube screamer, but it has a way more bottom end to it, and it has less of that mid-range hump in it, and it just kind of just has that tube screamer vibe, but it's a lot just more even sounding, and you know, like it kind of just enhances the amp. It doesn't really like change the tonality of the amp that much. So It's really cool. That's pretty much the only overdrive I use now, because before that I was using a Maxon 808 or whatever it was called, and comparatively it's like it's not even comparable to tone. It's just the Bicos effects is really amazing. And then other than that, I use go-go tuners, and that's pretty much all I use for pedals. I'm not a huge pedal guy. I'm not a huge effects guy, really.
Do you use delay and reverb and that kind of stuff?
No reverb. Sometimes maybe a tiny bit of delay where you don't even notice it's there. I just really like dry sounds. I think they sound big, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's cool. Fender mediums are 0.69 according to the Fender website.
No way.
Well, close enough.
And no, because even Fender lights are like probably around that. There's no way. Fender mediums feel like they're like a 1.0 or something like that.
I thought they were. I know I have a couple of them.
They have to be. Compare it to like your 0.73 or whatever that you use.
I thought I had one of those in here. No.
When I grew up, there was no point anything. It was just
right.
Medium,
heavy, extra heavy.
Yeah.
That's all there. That's all that existed.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm not that particular, because I'm like, I have like a range, like anywhere from 0.9 to 1.14 is like acceptable to me, but 1.14 is at the heaviest of it, because I still like the pick to, flex a little bit.
Right.
Here, I found one. So here's a Fender medium.
Just compare it. How it feels.
Yes, it's thinner than my 73.
Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm high. I'm super stoned right now.
Yeah, this was definitely bendier than this 0.73. So I'd agree. It's probably a 0.69.
Really?
Yeah, because it definitely bends a lot easier than this one.
Then what would the light be?
Light is like paper.
It's
crazy. Really light.
Huh. Interesting. So this is a good question. Is Jordan writing new material, and for which bands?
I'm writing new material for my solo record and for Ratt. Just kind of writing it on my own right now until we can all get together and jam.
And what's the plan with the solo record, and who's playing on it, and all kinds of stuff? Just curious if you can share.
I'm pretty much playing everything, but as far as drummers go, I'm not even exactly sure who I want to play drums on it yet. I'm just not quite done writing it yet. So
you're using like a Superior Drummer or some kind of drum program?
I'm programming with Logic drums right now, but it works. It sounds fine,
Yeah, that's cool. And so what's your plan for releasing it, the album?
Well, I don't really want to release it until COVID's kind of over, because it just doesn't make any sense to me,
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like I don't think it's worth releasing anything during COVID, because you can't do anything with it,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's not like people buy albums anymore, right? So
right.
So you got a tour behind it.
Although they do buy vinyl.
Yeah, they would buy vinyl. I
think
vinyl.
So like Sammy released his record on vinyl, and this cool orange vinyl, and he said he sold a lot of them. Like it was really, really worth it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The way I see it, the reason vinyl is so popular now is because if you go in most new cars don't have CD players anymore. Mm-hmm. Computers don't have CD drives anymore. So right. CDs to me still sound, they do sound better than MP3s, but they're useless now because nothing fucking plays them. So vinyl is great because it's just like this cool thing. So it's kind of retro. So now if you want to actually buy a physical thing, you buy a record player, because CDs are useless now. So that's why I think vinyls are so huge now, because CDs are useless. So if you want to buy a physical thing, it should absolutely be a vinyl.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
I agree with that totally.
I think cassettes are kind of cool. I think cassettes should make a comeback.
I love cassettes.
Oh man.
But the only problem with cassettes was you couldn't go to the next song. You just had to fast forward.
Even on records, you can go to the next song, but you got to be pretty accurate moving the needle.
Right.
It's
a tough go.
Yeah, that's definitely something I need to get soon, because I don't own a record player, but I have a bunch of records, and I just never bought a record player.
You need that. Some speakers, a little record player,
There's a lot of cool record players that kind of convert to digital, so I could like plug it into my interface, I think, and then it can go to like my studio monitors.
You can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have USB. It plugs in USB record player.
Mm-hmm. But I'm so like purist that when I buy a record player, I'm gonna buy a tube power amp and a, in the
not even that. I mean, like you can. There's tons of great old vintage solid state ones that were great, like Marantz or something, or big heavy things. I mean, if they're serviced and operating fine, I mean, you can get them for like $50 or something. Like you get them for nothing. Yeah, the turntable you're going to spend more money on, but but even you can get a really good turntable, a new turntable.
Mm-hmm.
Like I bought a U-turn turntable, which is a newer company, and a couple $100 for the turntable, but then you can get an old receiver for probably $100 or less.
Mm-hmm.
And then just need a set of speakers for it, which is interesting. You got to figure that out. But
I just love all that stuff. Like I love
when you hear it, even the stuff that wasn't that hi-fi or wasn't that great compared to what we have now.
Yeah, night and day.
It sounds infinitely better.
It really does.
Like I mean, I'm just talking. Get a run-of-the-mill like Techniques receiver that $50 or something from the 80s, and a decent turntable. I'm not even talking great,
right?
And you plug that into a set of speakers, like a good set of passive speakers, and holy crap, you're just listening to it going, oh yeah, that's what I remember guitar sounding like.
Yeah, totally.
It's interesting when you hear it. It makes a difference, and this is just stuff that's not going to cost a lot of money and it still make you happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love all that old vintage gear, and so I'm the kind of person that when I do something, I'm going to just do it the right way. When I get a record, a vinyl, a turntable, I want to do it the right way, so I can listen to it in the way it was intended to be listened to.
Yeah, I agree. When I got my record player for my birthday a couple years ago, hooked it up to my Bose speakers.
Thank you. I just ordered another martini.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cheers.
Cheers, bro. That's why I was being.
Except
rude.
That martini looks like kind of like in a margarita glass.
It is totally in a margarita glass.
Martini glasses.
Room service.
That's awesome. So we got this question: does Jordan use any modelers?
Just miking Marshalls.
Yay.
I use two different types of miking. I do a E906 for some sounds, and then I do a Royer 121 blended with a SM57 for my other sounds through API mic pre's into my Apollo interface. So I can't play without miking guitars. It's just so uninspiring to me.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So this might be your new mantra: dry sounds.
Dry sounds, dry martinis. You're damn right.
So now we had a guest on the show, former famous guitar player, Steve Ferris. And he was a big Martini fan, and I unfortunately asked him, well, what vodka are you using? He goes, no. Vodka is not a martini.
Oh, he likes gin martinis.
Well, no, he stated flat out, period, that vodka is not a martini.
It is a martini.
Well, not traditionally, it's not.
A gin martini.
So I did some research in this after this.
Yeah.
And traditionally, a martini is gin and strictly gin.
Right.
Later, they came up with the vodka. So he was a purist with this. So then of course, like, then you're like, well, which gin?
Yeah. But it's like, but James Bond.
Shaken, not stirred.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If vodka was good enough for him, then it's good enough for me. It's actually funny. I've always been, for like the last 8 years, a tequila guy. So I like to drink kind of, higher end tequila, and I just drink it neat. Just straight, just neat.
Okay, what tequila?
I think, my favorite tequila is Clase Azul.
Oh, Jesus, yes.
Yeah, you
have good taste.
Yeah, but it's really, you're right, I do have good taste, I know. But anyways, for some reason, for the last 4 months, I've been really just liking dirty martinis. I don't know. I just got really I felt like I needed a little bit of change, so I've been drinking a lot of martinis lately. But I know that at some point I'm going to make my way back towards tequila. And I do like to have bourbon, and I do like to have scotch. I really like to have everything, but I've always been a tequila guy. And I'm going to tell you why, though. Tequila is the only alcohol that is an upper, because it has the antioxidants that are in it. Mm-hmm. It actually is an upper. Every other alcohol is a downer, every single one. So it started from me playing shows. I always like to drink while I play shows, and tequila is just like fucking epic when you're playing shows. It's the best. When you don't drink like crappy tequila, it has to be good tequila, because crappy tequila is not real tequila.
Yeah, Clase Azul.
Yeah.
Or Don Julio 1942.
Yes. Have you had
a little bit down from that price wise? Fortaleza.
I love Fortaleza.
Fortaleza is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the George Clooney's tequila is okay for the Casa Amiga.
It went downhill when he sold it.
Did he?
Yeah. They started making it differently.
Oh, that sucks. Well, that was pretty good, because sometimes you go places and they're like, oh, we don't have this, we don't have that. What do you got? Well, oh, okay, well, that'll work. And that was that will work tequila.
Yeah, for me, it's like Don Julio Añejo is like a good baseline for me, and then 42 is obviously the one. Clase Azul to me is just like their Reposado is just fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. For $100 and odd some dollars a bottle.
Yeah. But I mean, when you think about it, when you go to a bar and a shot of 42 is like $35, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go buy a bottle of Clase Azul, which I like better than 42, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I would agree, actually.
And it's like, it's like a little over $100 for the bottle. And it's like, that could last me a little bit, Mm-hmm. You don't have to drink it all in one night. Unless you want to.
It'll last a week or so.
Yeah, it'll last like a week or so, for sure.
$400 tequila habit a month.
Yeah, no big deal.
We got a question from Vinny. What did EVH use for that chorusy sound on FUCK?
Eventide.
Effect. Eventide, yeah.
Micro pitch shift.
Now, if you want to get that effect now, there's a few ways you can do it. You can use an H9. No?
Kind of. Not really.
No?
To be honest, here's the if you're just going for the best stuff, right? So like if you're going for that sound and you want it to sound like that sound, it's really honestly, it's old and antiquated, but H3000, the original Eventide H3000, or the before that, the 949s or something. The little guys, yeah, okay, it simulates it, kind of cool. But man, if you actually hear the real thing, it'd be like, oh,
big difference.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get it now.
Right.
But I mean, is that really, do you need that? No, but
Yeah, I've also used the Boss Harmonist pedal.
Yeah, I mean, the cheapest thing you could buy that does that is the old SPX 90 micro pitch shift on the SPX 90.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get one of those for like $50 or something. So
now, do you run it in the loop, right? Not in the
in the loop.
I have a question because you guys probably know more about gear than I do for sure. What would be the best way to run two heads simultaneously?
A proper splitter that is transformer isolated and that has a little phase reverse switch. So on the easiest thing that I can think just off the top of my head is you can get a radial tone bone Twin Cities AB box.
That you would say that's kind of like the best one to do.
It's blue, and it's blue, so it matches your guitar.
That's very, very important.
Well, that one works quite well, and it will do all the things I just said, and it's not that expensive, and and it'll split perfectly into both amps. It won't color the tone.
Okay.
And it'll transformer isolate it so there won't be a ground loop. And if your amps are out of phase with each other, you can flip the phase.
Oh, okay. That's really cool. Yeah, I've always wanted to run a 100-watt amp with a 50-watt amp simultaneously. So I can get the best of both situations,
That pedal will work really well. I don't even know how much it is. It's like $100 or something, or maybe a little bit more.
Who did you say it was by? Radial?
Radial, Twin City, Radial Bones, Twin City. They have the dumbest names, but Radial Bones, Twin City AB box. It's blue and with a little bit of black on the cover. It's small. It's 9-volt DC.
I trust your opinion on that.
Yeah, it works really well.
Yeah.
So.
Is this
not that one? That one's a passive one. That one will work also, but you got to feed it with a buffer of some sort.
See, I didn't know that.
Otherwise, it's not going to work as well. Same concept.
Yeah,
is that one, but they the Twin City has a buffer in it. It's all dialed in.
Okay,
works good. I mean that one, or there's a full tone AB box that has transformer isolation and stuff that's good. Also, there's a few other ones too that do the same kind of thing, but the Twin City works quite well. It's easy to get.
I always wanted to run a 100-watt with a 50-watt head, just because to me, they both do completely different things. So for a live situation, I don't want an A-B between them. I just want to kind of like
blend it. Yeah.
All of it at once.
Yeah. Crank it.
Yeah.
Now, would you do two separate cabs, or one?
4. Probably 4.
Oh, okay.
I could do 8 ohms.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
peeling people's faces off.
Yeah, it's the way to do it, though.
Loud guitar. Well, in the band you're in, from what I understand, they're used to loud guitar.
Yeah, I like to play really loud guitar.
Because Warren used to play really loud too.
Yeah, I like to play loud. Some people don't like to play really loud, but I love to play so loud that I feel it,
Right. Exactly.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So Ethan wants to know, do you get into the fancy olives and the dirty martinis, like blue cheese stuff and etc.?
So I don't like blue cheese, but I do like to get different kinds of olives. So I'll do there's these ones that I like that are garlic and jalapeno stuff, and habanero stuffed olives. That's kind of my favorite too.
I love the fact that people are asking these questions.
Yeah. Ask me questions about alcohol.
Vinny says that Leo makes a great buffered splitter also.
Oh, okay.
Is it? Yeah. Maybe.
I'll
be right back.
So the neighbors can feel it. Yeah, that's always important.
I feel like nice. Yeah, 2 amps is, yeah, I want to start running 2 amps, but I just feel like the art of playing really loud through real tube amps is just such a lost thing, you know. Everyone likes to play through Kempers and Axe effects and sometimes not even run cabinets and just go DI to the front of house. And it's just like, to me, it's just so lame because when you're let's say, and the best part is that a lot of the people that like to do this, they're not playing necessarily in arenas or really big venues. They're playing more in small clubs. And when you're in a small club, when the people are standing right at the front of the stage, they're not hearing shit.
Right,
I mean, it's just the guitar coming out of the PA, so it's just like having that stage volume guitar is so, to me, detrimental to the sound of the live band, you know? So just detrimental. I don't even know if that's the right word, but you get what I'm saying. It's just, it's so important to have that, especially when you're playing in a small club. You have to have some stage volume because the people that are standing at the front of the stage, they're not going to hear anything, and it just sounds like all you hear is the drums.
Right. I mean, if you're playing a huge arena, all right, well, maybe that doesn't matter. But if
if you're playing a huge arena, I guess in theory you can get away with having a Kemper and Axe effects that goes straight to the PA because basically most people are only hearing the PA. But that, to me, that's still fucking lame.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm so anti-technology. I'm so anti-technology.
That's beautiful.
You're talking Dave's language. I know that.
Well, I mean, you know, I just like, you know, nothing made me prouder than when I took Jakey Lee, his 100-watt Friedman, right?
Yeah.
For the first time down to the whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, first he tried it in the 50-watt mode and played for a while, and it was like, all right, that sounds cool. And then he tried the 100-watt mode, and he was like, oh yeah, that's great. And let's start with the 50-watt mode. One song in, he goes, nah, fuck this, 100-watt mode. And he put in the 100-watt mode, played the whole show, the 100-watt on 10, you know, in the whiskey. And I'm not really sure that they were putting much guitar in the PA, which they probably should have.
They surely couldn't have been.
Well, yeah, but I have some disagreements on that also. I mean, you need it to come through the PA also because there's places in the whiskey, let's say, you're up in the balcony. If you're not getting the guitar through the PA, you're probably not really hearing the guitar.
No, so, I agree with you 100%. I think that
it's loud doesn't mean they shouldn't put it through the PA. Put it through the PA also.
But also keep it fucking loud as shit.
You know, and just like keep it loud.
I agree with you.
And most good sound guys that I mean, really good guys that have worked with a lot of great rock bands. We had one of them on the show, Tom Abraham. Tom's like, look, here's the deal. I'll just, whatever makes the artist happy is what I will deal with. And it's not a problem.
Yeah.
And if they have a good tone, it's not a problem.
Right.
It's just not a problem.
Right. Well,
they can play as loud as they want. It doesn't matter.
It is awful when someone plays really loud and they have an awful tone. That's just
correct. And that's some of the.
That's the downside.
Yeah. And Tom has dealt with some crazy. And Tom, when I first met Tom, he was mixing for Marilyn Manson when John 5 was in the band. And John 5 was incredibly loud on stage. And he goes, it's not a problem. It's nice. It's just not a problem.
Yeah.
Later, Tom mixed Alice in Chains and
Yeah.
all sorts of things. And it's just, they weren't loud on stage, but
I find that there is, well, now I use an attenuator, so it's great because I can kind of get everything out of the amp, but not just play like blisteringly loud. But I do find, like, I love to play really loud, but I am willing to find that happy medium where you can still have it really good through the PA system, really good off the stage, so that the people that are standing near the stage hear the, the volume too. But I just think the stage volume is so important for a lot of people that are standing in the vicinity of near the front of the stage.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking important. And sound guys all the time are just like, turn down, I can't control you in the PA, can't control you in the PA. And it's just, it's bullshit.
Hogwash.
It is fucking bullshit is what it is, honestly.
It's complete, utter bullshit. It's funny. I mean, a guy that works for me used to would play the Viper Room from time to time, and he would go in there and he goes, they kept making me turn down till basically the volume on the amp was pretty much off.
Exactly.
He goes, it was so quiet. I couldn't hear anything at all.
And not only that, but you go stand in the front where the guitars are coming out of the PA system, and it sounds like shit, and you can't hear it. There's playing shit that don't know shit about dick.
But the interesting thing is, and this is an interesting thing. So there was another gig where Steve Stevens did like this all-star band thing at the Viper Room. And Steve was playing, and Pete Thorne, and all these people, and same venue, same everything. Steve's Friedman amp was on 6 or 7 on the master volume, which is full volume. There's no more.
It doesn't get louder. It just gets.
It doesn't get louder. It's a 100-watt amp, just killing.
Yeah.
At that point, and same thing with Pete's amp. And guess what? We still heard all the vocals over the PA, and it was glorious because you were standing there just getting pummeled with this sound. But it's almost like, after a while, you're almost like floating in this beautiful guitar heaven, of noise.
Yeah.
And
I don't know why people are so afraid of that today. I don't. In fact, I have a good story for you, because me and Marty play pretty loud on stage. We like to play pretty fucking loud, and we were sound checking at the Whiskey for one of our shows, and I go stand in the front of house. When we do sound check, I always go stand in the front of house because I don't trust anybody.
Good.
I'm kind of the guy that likes to make sure that everything's right, because I know what it should sound like. And I said to the guy, I'm like we're playing through songs, and I'm like, do you even have the guitars in the front of house? And he's like, yeah, they're there. Oh yeah, they're there. And I'm like, what? And then he turned them up. He started to turn them up, and it sounded amazing. And he finally had the guitars like really coming through the front of house. It sounded amazing. And a bunch of people that came to that show that night came up to me, and they're like, yeah, usually like instrumental stuff sounds terrible at the Whiskey. Tonight, you guys sounded fucking amazing.
Yeah.
The sound guy barely had the guitar coming through the PA. It was like not even there. It didn't sound like it was coming out at all, because he's like, oh, it's coming off plenty from the stage. And not only that, but we're not a vocal band, so it's not like you're trying to keep the guitars down so that it doesn't fight, with the vocals. It was just, I don't know. I just don't. I've worked with some really good sound guys that really get it, but I've worked with way more sound guys that don't understand anything.
Yeah, I would agree with you on everything you've just said, and they don't. I'm just like, how many times have you gone to see a show and all you hear is vocals and bass and drums?
A million times.
And it's a guitar band.
Yeah.
It's like a band that is known to be a guitar band,
And not only that, but you have to also take into consideration, let's say the guitars are pretty loud and vocals are like, they're similar in volume. if it's a band that's really well known, the people in the audience already know the lyrics and everything. So if you have the guitars not there, it just sounds weak. It's just weak.
Oh yeah.
People know the vocals anyways, you know?
Are you using in-ears?
No, I don't use in-ears. I just use I use a loud amp and really loud monitors and really loud side fill monitors for the drums, and I'll use earplugs a lot of the time. Some shows though, the volume of things doesn't bother me depending on how open the space is and how bright the room sounds. But if the room, like, I know right away if I need to wear earplugs that night. It's just kind of how my ears feel. But no,
depends on how bouncy the room is, how reflective the room is, everything.
Exactly. So yeah, we just play really loud. We use regular monitors. We use side fills and pump the drums through the side fills super loud, and it's just like we get to jam out. It's just fun, you know.
That's cool. That's awesome. Sorry, I just got a text.
I have a question from, well, TWF7847. Dave, I ordered a B100 today from musician's friend. Unfortunately, it's on back ordered for 2 to 3 weeks. Are you guys having problems with production for COVID? We're making amps, but here's the issue. What had happened was, so we were closed for a while. When they shut everything down, we were shuttered for like a month, right? So we had orders then we didn't have any output for a month. Meanwhile, we were still receiving orders that whole month that there was no output. And now we've received even more orders. So right now we are so back ordered on everything because of that. It's crazy. So we're just trying to make things as fast as we can. And then we did right in the middle of all this COVID thing, we did the Jakey Lee amp release, the limited edition amp. And so that took up some bandwidth. So now we've already gotten through that now. So now we're making deluxes and twins. Well, we had Twin Sister next, and then we're also making deluxes. So it's like we only have so many people to make stuff. And you know, if it gets, and it just stacked up. So, I mean, it's a good thing.
Yeah. Jordan, are you using the aux on stage?
I have not used the aux on stage yet because I haven't had a chance to use my plexis live with Ratt yet.
Okay. Is that the plan though, to do that?
It will be the plan when we actually do a tour, like, you know, like we were supposed to do this year, but we didn't do this.
A tour that you can take your own gear with?
Yeah, exactly. When we do the bus tour and everything, I'm definitely going to.
Well, we got to tweak your plexis then.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe bring a Friedman with me too. I'd like to maybe try, you know, come and play some more of your amps because I haven't had a chance to really like play your amps at full crack.
You'd probably like the B100 Deluxe. It pretty much can do anything you want it to do. I mean, it'll totally nail. I mean, because I have vintage plexis and stuff, and I remember when Sammy was in town, we did that little AB with an amp switcher, and it's like no one in the room we're all looking at the amp going, which one's which?
Right.
And that's to the vintage Variact plexi.
So, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you met Warren, Jordan?
I've met Warren on a couple occasions, actually. They were both times where it was kind of like, I don't know, it was kind of weird. I don't know. I haven't really met him in a way that was like really like the right way to meet him, I guess. But anyways, I basically was friends with Carlos Cavazo before joining Ratt. So I met Warren one time when I went to go see Carlos play with Ratt years and years ago. And then another time I met Warren when I was doing something at the Cherval booth during NAMM or whatever, and some people from Fender introduced me, and it was kind of just like Warren was kind of like, "Oh, okay, cool." It's like it wasn't like anything. He probably doesn't even remember meeting me, to be honest.
Gotcha.
I had a very interesting dinner with Jakey Lee and Warren.
Mm-hmm.
With a mariachi band.
And a mariachi.
It was actually it was a great dinner, but it was horrible because the mariachi band was like raging in this Mexican restaurant we went to.
Like so loud.
So loud. Oh, good. They were good. I mean, like they were a good band.
They were a good mariachi band.
Well, I mean, when I say that, it's like all the traditional instruments and all the right stuff and all the thing for that thing. But it was like, holy shit, we couldn't get a word in edgewise. It was like the band would stop and we're like, talk. And then, oh shit, the band started again. Fuck. We had great drinks though.
It's so funny when I'm at a Mexican restaurant and I've had so many experiences where I go to a Mexican restaurant around lunchtime and I'm just like super, super hungover. And then just like the mariachi band comes and starts playing right next to me. And I'm just like,
what are you doing? We've been getting this question a lot, Dave, since the last show. About
okay, so this question, which is on the screen now, as you guys saw, I don't have a definitive answer on that. I'm not going to come out and like dog anything. So, maybe the curve is a little questionable. Maybe it's not. I don't have a definitive answer on that.
You mean running like that as
timed out vintage plexi into it?
What do you think doing? Does that run any differently than an aux box does?
Yeah, it does run different than the aux box.
So an aux box is for sure safe.
It's fine. Yeah,
but a Boss is different the way that it works.
It's different the way it works. It's a different load. It does sound really good. It is a great product. I just don't have a definitive answer on that. So
do you think it sounds better than the aux or different or same? Just because I never used the Boss one before.
Depends. I mean, with the Boss, you have options for your IR choices, like lots of options for IR choices. With the UA, you have what they have. I don't know. They're all good options. There's also 2 notes options too.
Yeah, the torpedo or whatever.
They're all good options. You have to decide what sounds best for you and your amps.
And I just use it. I was using it to record. Using the UA IRs that are in it.
Yeah. They're not IRs. They're actually, the UA box is actually models of cabinets. So it's like a true 1-to-1 model of a cabinet that's interactive. So in other words, you can drive the speakers more. So they have cone cry or something. You can, it's different. It's not a static IR. It is a different technology.
I get what you're saying, but the whole point is that it still didn't do it for me. It still needs to be mic'd. But I do like using the aux box just purely as an attenuator.
Yeah, and that's probably not the best attenuator either.
Yeah.
But if you're only knocking it down a couple clicks, it's probably fine. Mm-hmm. It's all. You have to do your own test. You have to do your own.
You have an opinion about what
A/B it to mics. I mean, I'm a big fan of Own Hammer IRs. If you're going to use IRs, I think Kevin at Own Hammer does an amazing job at IRs, and he's really into it. I mean, like really into it. And I love that passion for it. So those are my favorite IRs. Almost anything he does is really good.
As far as attenuators, do you have like an attenuator that you like?
Attenuator, the best thing for a vintage Marshall would be the Fryette Power Station 100, the new one. It by far is great. It's not really an attenuator; it's really a load and then another power amp. By far, it's the best. The 100-watt. I've done exhaustive tests, especially with old Marshalls, and the new 100-watt one, PS100, is unbelievable. So that's what I choose to use if I'm going to use it. And for an old 50-watt, I mean, for an old 50 or 100-watt Marshall, I mean, the Fryette is perfectly safe and great.
Okay.
It's a great product.
And you can play it at whisper volumes, and because of the architecture, you have an effects loop in it. So if you want to insert a delay post your vintage amp, you can, which is great. I mean, if you have, like, my favorite old delays are like Roland SDE 3000 rack mount delays and stuff. And if you just insert that in the loop, it just sounds amazing. Just killer sounding.
I'll have to have you put an effects loop into one or two of my Plexis, because I just
you don't want to put the effects loop in the Plexi. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work, because the problem is you're deriving all your distortion from distorting the power section of the amp.
Right.
So if you insert an effect into that, it gets distorted.
So the delay is like a distortion delay.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You don't want to do that.
It doesn't work in the front of the amp either.
It doesn't work in front of the amp really either. Best thing to do is, if you're going to do something like that, and you say you have a Plexi or something, you crank that up into one cabinet, you take a line out from that amp, which a little box you can make or something, feed a delay and feed a power amp to another cabinet. Then you have a dry and wet thing, and then you have everything.
You'll have to teach me how to do that, because I don't.
Yeah, and you'll love how that sounds.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Jordan.
Really good.
That is the way to go, man. If you haven't done that.
If you haven't done that, that almost gets your 2-amp idea done, because you get a little delay in this one cab, but you get the dry thing going at the same time. It'll sound massive.
It fills the sound so much. I mean, I've got going through here. I do what Dave says. I got wet, dry, wet, and I've got a line out running out of the BE into a pack over there, feeding the two outside cabinets.
I can show you, man.
You have to show me all this stuff, because I'm still learning. I'm 20.
Yeah, that's fine.
It sounds fucking killer.
That's fun stuff. I like the expression on people's faces once they do it for the first time, and they're like,
yeah.
Well, I have to say, the whole reason I got into Plexis was because one of my best friends, Robert Mason, sings with George. Yeah. And they did this album, End Machine.
Yep.
So I went to their rehearsal at Mates.
Yep.
And, I know George pretty well too, but I went there and George was playing
50-watt Plexi Marshall.
No, he was playing his 100-watt Plexi.
Oh, okay.
And I heard that fucking thing, and he just had it at full crack with a packing blanket over the cabinet.
Yeah. Did he have the wet stuff going too?
He did.
So essentially what that is what I would just described.
Well, I know that, but I just never knew how to do that.
Yeah.
But I heard that amp, and I just talked to him about it for a little bit. And that's what George is what got me on this whole Plexi journey that I'm on, because when I heard that at the rehearsal, I was just like,
wow,
okay, that's the sound I want. That's the sound I've been looking for this whole time. I know.
We got to pick your amps up.
Like, I know about the dry wet thing, but I don't know how to do it the right way.
Yeah, I'll hook you up.
Yeah,
cool.
Hook me up, man.
You're here now. It's easy.
I know. Hook me up, man.
Exactly. Well, we've been going a while. I think we've gotten to all the questions. So I think we should wrap up. Just looking to see if there's any other questions. No more super chats. So I think we're good. You guys should check out Jordan playing with Marty Friedman. Go on YouTube, check out his videos on there. It's phenomenal. And of course, once you guys start touring again and your solo album comes out, you guys make sure you check it out. Jordan, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you. It was super fun. Super fun with you guys.
Totally awesome.
Now you can commence with drinking more martinis.
I'm gonna have dinner and then drink more martinis.
That's a good plan.
The words weren't coming out quite right there. You got it though.
Our schedule for next set of shows. We've got Tosin Abasi on September 11th, Misha Mansour on September 18th, and then we have Rusty Anderson, who is the guitar player from Paul McCartney's band. He's coming on September 26th, which is my birthday, which will be cool.
Happy almost birthday.
What's that?
I said happy almost birthday.
Thank you. I'll be an old man by then. Steve Lukather's coming back on October 2nd. Dave Weiner from the Steve Vai's band will be on October 9th. And then what's Martin's last name from Victory, Dave?
Martin Kidd.
Martin Kidd, right. So he'll be on October 30th. And that's kind of where we're booked. And then the next set of guests we're going to have from Voodoo Labs.
Josh Fiden from Voodoo Lab. We're going to have his, I think, first ever interview. I've known Josh forever, so we're old friends. We're going to be drinking wine on that show, so everyone get their wine ready.
Yeah.
Nice.
Proper wine. And then also we're going to have James Santiago from UA on.
Which would be awesome, too.
Yep. And at another show. But, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we're booked almost into November, or most likely. So anyway, you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for joining. If there's any other questions, send them our way on Facebook. Make sure you hit subscribe. Also, check out Sweetwater again in the link, please. Subscribe and click the bell. Buy your Friedman gear. And I think that's it. Jordan, hang on while we say goodbye.
Yeah.
Hang on one sec.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, guys. Take care. Have a good
All
one.
right.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Bye.